Good morning and welcome to our mixed level practice on maintaining and building bone density. If you'd like to donate to the online classes, you can find all the information on the front page of our website, yogaloft.biz, and we are so appreciative of any donations that you would like to offer. So yoga strap will be handy today. If you have blocks and enjoy using them for lunges, etc., you can have those as well. But I feel like we can make some modifications and accommodate anybody in this practice. Some people like having a chair, a seat of a chair for the seated movements, and also using it to help a little with balance. So let's get started right away. And we'll lay down on our yoga mat with our yoga strap close by, and we'll just take a moment to arrive. So when I say arrive, of course, we're here in the physical sense. You're here, but we'll arrive a little more completely in our body by noticing the sensations of the feet on the floor, the shoulders nice and broad, the back of the skull resting. And rest your fingertips on your low belly with your elbows out to the side. Begin to release your shoulders, relax your jaw. And take a moment to inhale and exhale. Just follow your breath in and out of your body. And just this simple act of noticing the breath, of being witness to the breath, creates an opportunity for us to arrive completely. And let's let the knees swish a little to the left and right, just for a nice, easy warm up for the low back. Make it nice and slow and easy. You can release your hands, back the hands to the floor, palms up. Let the knees move to the left, back to center, to the right. And bring that movement into stillness. Make the movement smaller and smaller and smaller yet, and pause. Bring your right knee up towards your chest, relax your shoulders down. Reach up through your right heel and flex your foot. Point and flex a couple times to warm up the ankle. And next time you flex the foot, bend the right knee back in towards your chest, and now find your yoga strap once more for the bottom of your foot. And it doesn't need to be a yoga strap. It can be anything, like a bathrobe tie, anything like that works nicely. And as you press your foot into the strap, so if you can, get the strap to the ball of the foot, evenly press, so not collapsing to the little toe or the big toe. Relax your shoulders. Keep a micro bend to your right knee and extend your left leg. And if this isn't working in the body this morning, just keep your left foot on the floor. But as you extend your left leg, lift the left knee, draw the belly in, and reach up and out through both of your feet, but keep a little tiny bend to both knees. This is Supta Padangusthasana, big toe pose. Beginning to warm up the hamstrings on the right leg, hip flexors on the left, and we'll linger. Again, bringing our awareness to the breath, the inhale and the exhale through the body. Check in with your low back, that you're nice and broad across the back of your pelvis, not at your back waistline, so the right hip descends. Nice, easy breath. And if you like, you can bend your left knee and open your left knee to the side. Take your straps into your right hand. And here's another option. for support of that left knee if you like that. And then we'll open the right leg towards the right. Slide your hand down the strap so your elbow can rest, perhaps, and bring your left hand onto your hip to, again, bring a sense of stability across your low back. Relax your shoulders again. And now we're getting into the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. And the intention of this practice for building bone density is that we hold the poses a little bit longer, perhaps, than we might. And all these muscles, connective tissue, are kind of pulling on the hips and the pelvis in these positions. And that's what generates the bone density response. And as we get up into the upper back and the entire spine, we'll notice that too. Okay, when you're ready, pull your right leg up. Lift your left knee and plant your foot. Let's slip the strap off the right foot, bend the right knee, and just let your right leg glide down and be lazy for a moment. So there is some study done around how holding the poses and letting the muscles relax is beneficial. We've been playing around with that lately. Let's bend the right knee, bring the right foot to the floor. Bring your left knee up and reach up with your left heel. And flex your foot and perhaps notice your hamstrings in the back of your leg awaken to this morning and point and flex. Sometimes we forget about the ankles and all they do for us until they bother us. A little bit of flexion, and you can even circle a little bit if you like. And bend the knee towards the chest and find your strap for the bottom of your left foot. I like to make a loop around the hand so I don't have to grab so much with my fingers. You can try that. And glide that left thigh a little away from your belly. Bend your left knee. Press up into the strap a little. And if you like, once more, extend your right leg and flex your right foot and lift your right knee a little and reach up and out. For many people, a little inner rotation of that right thigh bone is helpful to center the right heel. You can play a little bit with that, see if that works for you. And I always imagine that the low back is like the hub of a wheel, and the legs are extending out like spokes. And like with any wheel, we want balance. We want the center of the wheel to be kind of, flat, I guess that would be the word for it, level, so that the legs can extend out with ease, just like the spokes of a wheel. Stay with it, one more breath. Glide your right heel towards you, plant your right foot, and open the right knee to the side. And you can use a block if you like. Take both straps into your left hand. Take your right palm on top of your right hip bone and open that left leg. Nice and slow. So some people like to keep their arm extended and the elbow a little bent, and some like to slide their hand down so the elbow can rest. Either way is just fine. Little bend to the left knee, little core support here, pressing the belly down to keep that right hip nice and heavy. And where's the breath? Follow it in and out of your body. Let's pull the left leg up and help the right knee up and slip your right foot alongside your left foot. And descend the tailbone slightly so you're nice and level. Bend your knees a bit more and slide your feet along the strap to a V. And then turn your toes out a bit. Still make a loop maybe if your strap is long enough. Now look at your feet, so make sure that your right foot is not closer to you than your left or vice versa. Do a little bit of fidgeting around. Bend the knees a little. And let's tip over towards the left. And come back to center. And then tip towards the right. So as you move in this way, notice that you're rolling across your low back from hip to hip, so not at the waistline, but a little bit lower. Exploring the sensations, rolling across the back. And then make this little sway, come into stillness. And we'll bend the right knee and point it towards the armpit as we press out through the left foot. And now the low back is stable. It's not tipping to the left or the right. And then we'll shift it. So we'll bend the left knee and point it a little towards the armpit as we press out through the right foot. Relax your shoulders. And again, so bend your right knee and press out through your left foot. This would be called Skandasana if we were standing on our feet. And we might get to that today. We'll see how much time we have. And then shift it again. And come back in, both knees bent. Slide your feet up the strap. Hug your knees in and bring your feet to the floor. Take your strap and set it to the side. And perhaps just lengthen both of your legs long for a moment as you do that. Find the ease within the effort. Take a breath. Let's bend the right knee and the left. Eye of the needle pose. So let's reach up. Let's start with the left leg. Flex your foot again. And rotate your left thigh. So when you look at your foot, your toes are out, your heel is in. And keep this as you bend your knee and bring your ankle bone across the top of your right thigh. Take your hands and wrap them around your hip bones. Going to square up the hips, the pelvis. Wiggle your shoulders a little apart. Press out through the ball of your foot. And then check in with the sensations of your right. Could you align your right heel with your right hip and your shoulder? Just check in. And then do a little sway. So move a bit to the right. And back to center, nice and slow. And towards the left. And come back in. We decide at this point if to keep the right foot on the floor, perfectly fine, or to use a block beneath your right foot, or to bring your right knee up over your hip socket, and to open that right knee, keep it aligned with your hip and your shoulder, and descend your left hip ever so slightly. Relax your shoulders. This is your piriformis muscle saying good morning. Stay with it. And if you feel like you went too far in the beginning, just come out a little. It's always okay to make little adjustments along the way. As you keep the left foot flexed, pressing out through the ball of the foot, this keeps your knee a little safer from torsion. Relax your jaw. I love that this is also known as reverse pigeon. Same part of the body is experiencing the movement, but it's a little bit more available to many of us as we're laying on our back instead of our belly. And let's release the right foot. Swish your block out to the side with your foot. Take your left heel up. Point your toes and do a little circle. And let's bend the left knee and bring the left foot to the floor. And right away, reach up with your right foot, flex your foot, rotate your right thigh, bend the knee, and bring your ankle bone across. Wrap your hands, run your hips again, kind of level everything out. Align your left heel Take a moment, press out through the ball of the foot. And then sway, open the left knee towards the left. Keep the shoulders and shoulder blades down. Draw your belly in, come back up. And take your left knee now towards the right a little bit. Come back up to center. And once more decide if you're going to keep your left foot on the floor. There's still a lot going on there. And then take your block to the foot if you want a bit more. Or bring your knee up. Open that left knee, align it with your hip and your shoulder. Press out through the ball of the right foot. Make those little adjustments and wiggle your shoulders. Now the left knee has this tendency to want to sneak in once we arrive. But every now and then just check that your left knee still is aligned with your shoulder. Return to your breath. And another deep breath. Let's release the left foot to the floor. Take your right heel up and maybe draw some circles. Bend the right knee and let your right foot come back down. I was going to add a little bit of core awakening this morning. So kind of just rest on your big toe and push off and bring the block between the knees, the thighs. Or if you don't have a block, you could use like a throw pillow, just so we can draw the energy in. Knees right over hips, hands on the belly, so we can notice if the pelvis wants to tip. So think of your spine staying stable or neutral as we move. So on your inhale, toe touch. Exhale, back in. And again, inhale, toe touch. Exhale, back in. So this is without the pelvis tipping. So let's go again. Inhale, toe touch. Exhale, in. The further away you reach your feet, the more challenging it will be to keep that stability. But it's kind of fun to explore. So inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. This time, flex your feet and touch your heels. Inhale. Exhale. Alternate. Toe touch. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. Let's do it. Let's finish it off with one more. Inhale, toe touch. Exhale. Now bring your feet to the floor with the block still in place. Kind of fidget around a bit. Get your heels beneath your knees. One of the asanas in the study about building bone density was bridge pose. So we'll add bridge in the beginning of our practice, and we may add it at the end as well. So we just did some core strengthening, and now we'll do a bit for the back body. Let's bend the elbows with the fingers pointing up. Rotate your palms to face the back of the room and tuck your shoulder blades in. So at this point, we don't want any lift behind the head. Neck is neutral. Exhale, pull your belly in toward your back. Tip your pelvis forward. Push down with your feet and scoop your hips up. Make little adjustments. Draw the tailbone towards your calf muscles. Keep that sensation of scooping your hips as you press down through your upper arms. The key to bridge pose is to use your glutes, your bum, the biggest muscles of the body. So that's what's going to take away that sense of tension in your hamstrings if you use your glutes. So press down evenly through your feet. Draw your knees a little away from you. Draw your tailbone towards your calf muscles, press down through your upper arms. All those things. So your back body is now working to lift your front body. When you're ready, draw your tailbone towards your calves, lower your spine. Beautiful. Release your hands. Lift your feet and hug your knees in again. Rock them gently forward and away so we still have the block between the knees. Next time the knees are away, keep them stacked right over your hips. Open your arms out to a T. Your hands can be lower than your shoulders. And we'll take the knees to the left. So keep your knees stacked by holding on to the block. Keep the shoulders and shoulder blades down. Draw your belly in. Come back to center on an exhale. So this time, inhale to the right. Keep your knees stacked, holding on to the block. Exhale to center. Let's do one more on each side. You can also do this with your feet on the floor if you'd rather. Inhale. Tip over a little bit onto your side, but keep your shoulders and shoulder blades down. Exhale, pull your belly in, come back up. And let's go again to the right. And exhale, center. Do a little half sway. And then a little bit less, just a little tiny sway. And right back into stillness. Take the block away, bring your feet to the floor, and straighten your legs out long. Take your heels out to the edge of your yoga mat. Create a human starfish. And let's begin to transition to hands and knees. So bend one knee at a time, roll to the side, come to table pose, hands and knees. So some people enjoy having a folded blanket beneath their knees, and if you like that, go ahead and set that up. And when we move into these positions, when we're on the hands and in table and downward facing dog and other poses like that, we've been talking about bringing the energy in a little bit more to the L of the hand. So we often talk about the four corners of the feet, but the hands also have their four corners. And if you have issues with wrists, then many times bringing that energy in a little will be helpful. So let's go ahead and set that up. Spread your fingers wide. Your little fingers are pointing out towards the edge of your mat, perhaps. And draw the energy in a bit to the L. And just notice how that might resonate through the rest of your body, through up your arms into your shoulders. Knees are a little hip distance apart. And as we inhale, round your upper back. Let's hold on to this very first cat back for a few breaths. Release your head, scoop out your front body towards your back. Keep the arms lengthened and exhale, release your chest, your heart. Pull your chest forward. Lift your head a little and your tail, but pull your belly up towards your back. So we don't want to collapse too much at L4, L5. So lift your belly, pull your heart. Stay with it for another breath. Sometimes often called cow spine. So as we inhale, cat back. And exhale, release your chest, pull it forward, cow spine. Nice and slow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow spine. One more. Inhale, cat. and exhale, cow spine. This time, as we go into our cat back on the inhale, we'll take the hips back towards the heels as we sink a little deeper into Balasana, child's pose. And please listen to your body, maybe only halfway this morning at first, or a little deeper. Let's drop the elbows straight down, the forearms straight down like Sphinx arms, and scoop your head up into the cow spine. So let's try that as a flow. Inhale, cat. Exhale into your child's pose. Drop your elbows straight down. Inhale, scoop up. And exhale here. Again, inhale, cat. Exhale, child. Drop your elbows. Inhale, scoop. Exhale. So we have an option here, as you know. I've been introducing this lately. I've been doing some grasshopper bows for myself. I want to build a little bit more upper body strength. So you can come along with me and do this if you like, or just come on to your forearms on your belly into Sphinx pose. So if you want to try it, tuck your toes, point your elbows straight back towards your ribs. This is the grasshopper part of it. Lift your belly. We'll do 3 of these. When you're ready, inhale, pull into L, exhale, bow, just a little gentle bow, and then inhale up. Let's go again, maybe just a smidge deeper. Exhale, inhale. Got one more? Let's try it. Exhale, elbows point straight to the ribs, pull into the L. Inhale. This time we'll make our way down nice and slow. See if you can get your chest to touch before your belly. Here we go. Exhale. Control it. Slow. Chest, chin, knees, toes, and then lengthen. Oh yes, come onto your forearms into Sphinx pose. Wiggle the hips a little. Press to the top of your feet slightly and press a little bit more into the very, very top of your upper thighs. Even the pubic bone presses a little. Pull your heart forward. Draw the chin a bit towards your throat. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Take a few deep breaths. You can also think about it in this way. Draw the tailbone a bit towards your heels. Follow the breath in and out of your body. And again, we linger just a little longer. Energetically pull your elbows a bit towards your ribs. Pull your heart softly forward. Lift your belly. Exhale, lower, nice and slow. Stack your hands. Rest. Bend your knees. Swoosh. Swoosh your feet a little side to side. And come into stillness. Circle your toes. And release your feet. So the next asana, the position of the body, is Locus Pose. And these were all the asanas they used in the study about building bone density. But I just wanted to remind us that they're not the only ones. But we hit on most of them in this practice. So in Locus Pose, we'll take the forehead to the floor and the hands back by the hips. Okay, so again, we want to protect the low back a little by drawing the pubic bone, the upper thigh bone slightly down. And when you inhale, lift your palms up, lift your shoulders, Lift the back of your skull so you're still looking down. Reach with your fingers. This is the half version of Balasana, Locus Pose. You can also float your feet if you like and reach a little bit more. Stay with your breath. Keep looking down as you fly over your neighborhood. You might notice a little rocking sensation of your body as you linger in this pose and take some nice full breaths. Reach with your fingers. Where's your breath? Float your feet. Keep, playing around with the levels of your feet from the floor and your hands reaching. And then exhale, lower. Release your head. Take a nice deep breath. Slide your hands beneath your shoulders with your elbows tucked in a little. Draw the chin a bit towards your throat. Pull into the L of your hand. And we'll do a 3-part cobra to come up. Bhujangasana. Inhale up, part way. And exhale, return. Let your forehead just lightly touch the mat. Again, inhale, push down, curl up. Just maybe 2/3. Exhale, slowly unfurl. This time we'll come up. Ready? Push down, inhale. Keep pushing onto your knees. Walk them a little wider this time and sink back once more to the depth that serves you. And release your hands, stack them or your forearms, and take a deep breath into your back. So for those last few asanas, the spine was compressed. The vertebrae were compressed, which is a good thing because now we expand, and it's an expansion. It feels lovely, doesn't it, to come into child's pose after that. Walk yourself up onto your knees. Downward facing dog, again, was one of the asanas used in the study. And for some people, maybe they don't feel quite as available as they would like it to be. One thing that might be helpful, if it's because of your wrist, you might try using blocks like this for your hands. They just have a little more give than the floor. You can also do downward facing dog with your hands on the seat of a chair, or even your hands on a wall and walking back. I'll just do it on the blocks this morning. Your knees are back. Your hands are slightly forward. And tuck the toes and lift the hips and press back. Now take your feet a little wider, like outer hips. Bend your knees, swoop your tail up. Lift your belly, your ribs. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Think length. Length for your spine. We bend the knees so the tailbone can swoop up a little bit. We linger. Take some nice deep breaths. And if you try the blocks but would rather not, then it's just real easy to sweep them away. Take another deep breath. Push off the floor with your hands, all of your fingers, all of the knuckles. Bend your knees. And when you're ready, walk your feet towards your hands. Or both, hands towards your feet. And sink in a little bit to a forward fold. A little more into your heels. Crisscross your wrists, palms up. Push down through your feet. Use your strong legs. Rise up. Rise and shine. Wiggle a little side to side. So it's a tiny little crescent. And come into stillness. Bring your hands home to your heart. Take a sip of water if you like. We'll go right into our balance pose before we do any more of our standing poses, so our legs feel pretty fresh and ready to go. So in this study, tree pose for Skandasana was used, and we'll go into that. But I also wanted to give you an option to kind of keep it fresh. So standing pigeon is just like that eye of the needle or keyhole pose that we did laying down, but it's standing. So it would be like this. You would rather do that than tree pose. And I'm going to play around with both of those. So lift up your right heel and rotate. Balance on your big toe and the heels to the inner shin. Hands are on your hips so you can tell that your pelvis is neutral this way, but also lift your belly. Think about hollow out your belly a little bit here. Hands can start at your heart or stay on your hips as you bring your foot up above your ankle bone. Then you can decide if your hands are going to go out, up, stay at your heart. So if you're going into pigeon, standing pigeon, it could be helpful to have a wall or a chair close by. You can also do it from a forward fold by bringing your foot up. Like that. So play around with either one of those. And once you get there, let's just pause. And smile. And become a blossoming tree. Let's release the hands if they're at the heart and step away. So I want to demonstrate standing pigeon again, but this time from a forward fold. Blocks would be handy. Only if you want to try it. So let's sit back in a pretty deep chair and lift your left foot. And then use your block. So you can take your right hand to your left ankle and bring it up and across. Flex this foot. It's like we did when we were laying down. Square up your hips. Balance your fingertips on the blocks. This could be it. If you want to play a little bit more, you can come to stand. A little bend to the knee. And then, of course, the other option is to come into tree pose on this side. You know it. So at the wall, if you like. The walls are our friend. Help us with our balance. Bring your ribs down. Stay with it. And remember, trees sway in the wind. They're really beautiful when they do that. So embody your beauty if you're swaying. And come out of the pose. Roll your shoulders. Bring your palms behind you. And lift your heels and balance. Balancing bird. And release your heels. Float your arms up. Exhale your palms down. Let's do a shoulder roll. Inhale and exhale. Let's move the blocks. Take a wide stance. Bring your hands to your hips. Let's take the left arm up and tip over a little bit towards the right. Square up your shoulders. Bring your front ribs in. We usually do this crescent stretch from standing in mountain pose. But today I thought we'd do a little bit wider stance to get us ready for peaceful warrior. Come on up, inhale, and exhale the hands back to the hips. Now scoop up your right arm, unlock those knees, tip over now to the side, front ribs down, lift your belly towards your back, Inhale up and exhale, release. Let's rotate the left foot and pull back a little with the right. We'll start with side angle pose. And if you want to spin, if your mat is facing me this way, you could spin it around a little and be with me this way, because many of the next few asanas will be in that direction. So bend the front knee and rest your hand on your thigh. Not collapsing, just lightly. Draw the pubic bone up, stack your shoulders. Draw some energy into your back heel. Scoop your left hip under your shoulder. This is your side angle pose. And this might be enough today, just let your hand rest by your side. Or you can also bring your arm up and over. Rotate the heart a little. Front ribs down. You can bring your forearm down if you like it. Just try not to collapse. Stay for a breath. Press through both of your feet to come up. And release your right arm. Transition to Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. The hands come back to the hips so we can keep them neutral this way as we bend the knee. Try to get the sense of your spine nice and long, so not leaning anymore like side angle, but nice and aligned. Adjust your feet as best you can. Just find your warrior stance. Scoop up your belly, so draw the pubic bone a little towards your navel. Rotate your heart. Keep your knee open. Extend out through your right arm. Reach a little that way and look at your fingers. Spread your toes. Lift up your left arm. Open through the chest. Look out at your fingertips of your left hand. Stay for a breath or two. Now check in with your feet, especially your right foot, that you didn't collapse to the outer edge. Find the four corners of both of your feet. Bring your right hand to your right thigh. Open your left palm. Stay in your warrior stance and float your left hand up. Look up or slightly straight ahead or even down. Come back through to your warrior. We'll transition to a high lunge by the windmill action of the arms and lift the back heel. Find the floor or your blocks. Your feet are a little bit apart this way. Your front knees over your heel, lightly resting on your fingertips. Just for a breath. Walk your hands to the inside of your front foot. Keep walking. Transition back to a wide-legged forward fold. You can bring your blocks along with you if you like. Stay for a breath. Turn your toes out. Bend your left knee. Walk your hands over your blocks that way. Float your right foot with little bend to your right knee. So remember the sensations of this when we had the strap across the feet. And I said, this would be Skandasana if we were on our feet. Here it is. Walk your hands back to center. Release your feet. Let's go now over towards the right. Lift your left toes. Keep a little bend to your knee. Have a sweet breath. Come back to center. We'll transition to high lunge on the other side by walking the hands over, lifting the toes of your right foot. Keep walking, lifting the heel of your back foot. There you are, voila, high lunge. When you're ready, drop your back heel, point your toes in a little, bend your front knee, Extend out through your arm. Windmill up, push down through your feet. Hey, how about that? Okay, so setting up for side angle on this side. We can just build it from the start. Feet parallel, rotate, draw this heel back a little, bend the knee. Hand on the thigh, and lean a little. Make a little adjustment. As you go, stack your shoulders. Draw the tailbone towards your heel. And you can keep your hand on your hip if you like, or bring your arm up and over. Yogi's choice always. Stack your shoulders, ribs down but skull back. Stay with it. Enjoy that long line of energy from your fingertips to your heel. Bring the arm up and down and push with your feet, come up. Hands on the hips again, bend the front knee. Hollow out the belly. So remember, this is the bandhas at play. The pubic bone lifts slightly, the ribs come down, the skull comes back. Okay, warrior two, our favorite. Let's keep the right hand on the inner thigh and bring the left arm across and reach. Now make sure you're not collapsing out of that left hip. So pull back some of the energy into your left heel. That will help. Energetically draw your heels a bit towards one another. And then when you're ready, float your arm up. Reach. Look out past your right fingertips. Relax your shoulders. Stay for a breath or two. Spread the toes if you feel like you're clenching your mat. And release. The left hand to the thigh, right palm comes up, lift up into your peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Press down with your hands, lengthen your legs. Ah, yes, feet parallel. Take a pause. Walk your feet in and come to stand on your mountaintop. Turn your palms up. On your inhale, rise. And exhale, home to your heart. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, press down. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, scoop up. Exhale towards your heart. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, press your palms down. And roll the shoulders. Let's find our yoga block or pillow again. We'll make our way down to the mat through Utkatasana chair pose. So, block between the thighs or the pillow. Just helps keeps the knees and the pelvis a little stable. When you're ready, relax your shoulders. Float your arms up and pull your hips back. Take your time getting there. Lift your belly towards your spine. Take a few moments to explore. When you're ready, tip over. Keep your knees deeply bent. As you tip, find the floor. Take the block away. And bring the knees to the mat. Come to sit. So we are going to sit at the end of our practice. These asanas were used in the study, so I want to bring them back in. So a folded blanket would be very handy. So if you don't have one, maybe go grab one while I fold mine. So from the side, it would look like this. Once we get the fold, we'll sit the hips up on top of the sort of the front part of it to elevate the pelvis. Okay, so go ahead and set that up. Bring your feet out in front of you. Again, sort of waddle your hips up towards the front fold of your blanket. Let's bring the right heel towards the left hip and draw the left foot in. And this might create a sensation of collapsing. So you want to pull the heart forward, and the sits bones are on the front edge of your blanket fold. Sit upright. This could be it. If you want to explore a little more depth to this pose, then we would walk the right foot over a little, so the knees in the center line, and then we'll take the left foot across. So there's always an option. And if you're going for this one, anchor down through your left hip and press through your big toe of your foot. Try to align your spine so you're not collapsing. Stay upright. Relax your shoulders. Let everything settle. And we'll take the right hand to the shin and open the left arm and rotate just the heart. So rotate and take your fingers behind you. If you have a block there and you want to place your fingers on the block, you could. I like to just take the back of my hand to my sacrum and open. So rotate your heart, rotate your head. Press through the big toe of your left foot as you anchor down through your hip. It's quite delightful. When you're ready, come back to center. Pause, roll your shoulders, sit upright. Uncross the leg, bring your feet out in front. Take a moment. So to the other side, we'll now bring the left heel across to the right side. And again, you can go right into the knee on the center line if you want, or you can keep it open a little and walk your foot over or not. So take a little adjustment here. Make sure you're sitting a little bit on a height. And this hip will want to lift. That's pretty natural, but try to sink. Square up your shoulders. Take a few breaths. So this is a movement, an asana for the piriformis, for the hips, as we might recognize the same sensations as when we were laying on our back in high of the needle pose. Pull your heart a little forward, extend your arm, rotate your heart, and take your fingers behind you or the back of your hand to your sacrum. Stay tall. Just a nice, easy rotation, a gentle twist for the upper back. This is where we need to be pretty watchful around twisting, especially if you already know you have a little osteopenia. You want to go in slow and easy and hold back from the edge. And unwind. Lovely. Bring your feet out in front. Extend your legs. So come off your blanket, extend your legs on your yoga mat. Have your blocks ready. Lower yourself down. So remember in the beginning of class when we did bridge? So I'd like to do one more bridge, but let's just do it a supported bridge on a block. So grab your block. Push down with your feet, scoop your hips up, and take the block beneath your sacrum side to side. Well, now we're in bridge pose, but we're supported. We don't have to do too much, but just kind of get ourselves settled. And then bring your feet off the floor, stack your knees over your hips, and float your feet. Bend the knees quite a bit, release your hands, back of the hands to the floor, palms up. This is a kindness that we do for the legs, for the feet. It's a lovely way to move the lymph fluid from the lower extremities. The hips are elevated into the thoracic duct. Just enjoy, maybe circle your feet a little. Take a moment. And if you were close to a wall and you were doing this, guess what? It'd be called legs at the wall. Very restorative pose. Linger a little longer here if you like, or bend one knee, the other. Bring one foot down, the other. Back to your bridge pose. Push down with your feet. Scoop your hips up. Take the block away. There you are. There's your bridge. And exhale, draw your tailbone towards your heels. Release your back to the floor. Swish your knees a little to the right, to the left. Come into stillness. Walk your feet in so your ankles touch and your knees. And then I like to, if my blocks are way far away, I like to grab them with my feet like a pair of tweezers. I don't know, it's just what I like to do. And then tuck your blocks behind your knees. Bring your feet together like hands in prayer. Just rest your palms either on your hip bones, your belly, or out to the side. Close your eyes. Take a few moments to invite balance back into the body. This is a balancing pose for your SI joint in your back body. Take a few breaths. Let's scan the body. Start at the jawline, relax. Cross your brow. Across the chest into the shoulders. Travel down your spine. From the back of your skull, notice a little bridge at your neck. Down your spine, little whisper of an arch at your back waistline. Cross the back of your pelvis. The knees are supported. Notice your feet, your toes coming together, the outside edge of your feet, your heels, and surrender. Relax. When you're ready, take your hands to outer thighs, help your knees up. And just for a moment, stretch your legs out long and your arms out wide like that human starfish. Point and flex your feet. And bend one knee at a time. Let's bring the feet to the floor. Roll to your side. Make your way up to sitting. So you can use a block if you like sitting in variations of hero's pose. Or sit cross-legged on your blanket or a block. And arrive. Again, the spine is nice and long. Broad through the chest, head's buoyant, palms down. Reach your fingers out to the side. Turn your palms up. And on the inhale, rise up. Exhale, nice and slow. Peace to the mind. Strength and health to the body. and love to the heart. And we bow softly forward. Watch now as we start this day in love and kindness. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been my pleasure, as always, to spend a little time with you. Hope you have a lovely weekend. And I'll be back at noon today and tomorrow at 10 and Sunday at 10. So drop in if you like. Thank you so much.
Okay.